the National Union of Mineworkers and community groupings there, Khaya, demanding the reopening of Lili Mine. Tell me about their demands that they've presented during this march.
Well, that's right, Thulisizwe. So foremost amongst the demands is the issue of the reopening of the mine itself. It's been 5 years, and the most critical issue here is around the families who are still seeking the answers. There hasn't been a closure. Quite a litany of promises have been made by the Department of Mineral Resources and many other structures as well. So now NUM and other structures today, they seized the opportunity. Just a short while ago, they presented a memorandum before the court, and joining us now is NUM's president. So thank you so much indeed for your time. So let us look at your primary demands that you have presented before the court. Maybe just take us through to those demands.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. We have 3 demands that are critical. The first demand is the retrieval of the bodies of the people that have been buried underground for 5 years now. That is the first demand. We met with engineers, and engineers have said that the incline shaft that can run right to the spot where the container is, it will cost 300 million. And that is what we want to happen as soon as possible. The second demand is workers that have not been paid for 5 years. Their families are suffering. We want them to get their money as soon as possible, because the company that is ready to pay them and to retrieve workers is here saying that I can be able to do that. The second demand is that the mine must be operational, because that mine was the only source of income and source of economic activity in these three surrounding villages. So people are suffering, they don't have anything to survive. So these are the main demands that we want them to be addressed as soon as possible.
All right, sir. And maybe just profuse apologies, if you may just kindly put on your mask, just to comply with the protocols. But just the impact on the ground, Mr. President, for the communities, how are they feeling? You are talking about now the very severe impact on the ground, because this is a very, a poverty-stricken neighborhood, as it were.
Well, I will start with the families who are the most hit hard by this situation, because even when they want to stage demonstration closer to the mine, there are some organized criminals who come and harass them and beat them. And this is the most dangerous thing that you can do to a grieving person. But when we go generally to the community, poverty-stricken community, their hope are pinned on that for the mine to be operational. And if that is not going to happen, severe starvation will impact on the community. So they are looking intensively on the development, hoping that the judge today, because the company is here that saying I'm opening the mine now, they pin their hopes on the judge, that maybe the judge, God will visit him to understand the grief of the families and of the community in large, and judge fairly in a judgment that can be able to address the problems that are faced by the family and the community in large.
And just once again, Mr. President, so many promises have been made to the families, so many stakeholders, the Department of Mineral Resources, so many political parties have approached these families, with the hope of retrieving the body. This time around, do you think it's going to work out?
Well, I think that sometimes people take advantage of the situation, thinking that they will be declared the best Samaritans. I think this is a very, very bad situation for these families. I think as stakeholders, we must join hands in making sure that we held our government accountable. I think the Department of Mineral should lead the way in terms of mobilizing resources to get that 300 million to retrieve the bodies. We have donors, even internationally. We have rich people, even locally, that can help if there's no money. But we don't see the department making sure that they appeal to those people that can be able to help. As for those political parties that come to make promises to the people, we think that they are making a wrong thing because what they have to do is to make sure that they mobilize the resources and come with the resources and say, here are the resources that can be able to start the implant shaft and retrieve the bodies, not just come and politique.
All right, Mr. President, thank you so much indeed. So he's with NUM, Joseph Montisa. So obviously quite a very enormous task that they are facing as NUM. So many members of the workers' union were here and really just showing a very strong message before Mpumalanga High Court.
Kaya James, thank you for that update.